10 Deadliest Tropical Storms. Tropical storms are seasonal weather events, but they never fail to shock us with the destruction they wreak. The worst and fiercest ever. Here's a look at the world's deadliest storms in history. Welcome to the Deadliest Weather series. This is the Life Hack Lion, the channel that gives you amazing life hacks and interesting facts. Tropical storms are known by different names in different locations. In the North Atlantic Ocean and North Pacific, they are called hurricanes. The same type of disturbance is called typhoon if it takes place in the Northwest Pacific Ocean. In the South Pacific and the Indian Ocean, cyclone is the term used. So let's take a look at the 10 world's deadliest tropical storms in history and see how much destruction they left us. Number 10. Typhoon Ida. Also known as the Kanagawa Typhoon, it is the 6th deadliest typhoon to hit Japan. This Category 5 super typhoon with a wind speed of 200 miles per hour struck the country on September 26, 1958. Typhoon Ida caused extensive flooding and mudslides and led to over 1,200 fatalities. The super typhoon has a minimum central pressure of 877 millibars, damaging and destroying 2,118 buildings and sweeping away 244 roads and railway bridges. Also, more than 120,000 acres of rice fields were covered with the tides. The Kanu, Meguro, and Arakawa rivers flooded and spilled onto piers and destroyed houses, religious shrines, freight depots, and stores. Not only did Ida claim 1,269 lives, but it also left 12,000 people homeless. Number 9. Hurricane Katrina. It is the most destructive storm to strike the United States and the costliest storm in U.S. history, causing $108 billion in damage, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Hurricane Katrina made landfall on August 28, 2005 with winds blowing up to 175 miles per hour. Its front right quadrant, which held the strongest winds, slammed into Gulfport and Biloxi, Mississippi, devastating both cities. The surge exposed engineering mistakes in the levees and floodwalls designed and built by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and caused extensive flooding throughout the New Orleans region. Thousands sought refuge in the New Orleans Convention Center and the Superdome, the largest displacement of a population since the Great Depression. An estimated 1,833 people died in the hurricane and the flooding that followed, and millions of others were left homeless along the Gulf Coast and in New Orleans. Number 8. Hurricane Maria. It struck in Puerto Rico as a Category 5 storm on September 20, 2017. Hurricane Maria was the worst storm to strike the island in over 80 years, with sustained winds of 175 miles per hour. The hurricane uprooted trees, downed weather stations and cell towers, and ripped wooden and tin roofs off homes. In some areas, floodwaters were waist-high or more than 30 inches deep. The official death count was reported to be 2,975. Also, the storm left thousands of families without homes and destroyed some communities entirely. About 80% of the island's crop was wiped out, representing $780 million loss in agricultural yields. Months after the disaster, most families and businesses remained without power. Cell phone services were limited, and clean water, food, medicine, and fuel were all in very short supply. Number 7. Typhoon HAIYAN. Also known as Typhoon Yolanda, it is one of the strongest storms that wreaked havoc into the central Philippines, from Samar and Leyte to Cebu and Panay. With nearly 200 miles per hour winds, it made landfall on November 8, 2013 and caused a storm surge with waves of up to 30 feet, mudslides, and flash floods. This deadly Philippine typhoon has a death toll of 6,300, while more than 100,000 people took shelter in evacuation centers. The super typhoon affected more than 14 million people across 44 provinces and was estimated to have ruined 90% of Tacloban City, Leyte. It damaged 1.1 million houses, destroyed coconut plantations, and disrupted the livelihoods of 5.9 million workers. Overall damage is estimated at $5.8 billion. Number 6. ODISHA Cyclone. It is a Category 5 super cyclone that slammed into Odisha, India, and ranks among the worst natural disasters in the country. It came on October 11, 2014 with winds of up to 160 miles per hour and took everyone by surprise. The government officials had underestimated the super cyclone's intensity and had miscalculated its path. As a result, a death toll so high that thousands of bodies had to be bulldozed into vast, faceless graves. According to official estimates, nearly 10,000 people died, more than 350,000 houses were destroyed, and several villages were completely washed away. Number 5. Hurricane Mitch. On November 9, 1998, this Category 5 hurricane slammed into the east coast of Central America, particularly Nicaragua and the Honduras. Its winds were slightly slower than other deadly storms at roughly 179 miles per hour, but the storm's toll was far worse. Flash floods claimed thousands of lives, and in Honduras, about 50% of national crops were lost. Around 75% of major infrastructures either destroyed, damaged, or torn apart. In total, more than 11,000 people died, making Mitch the deadliest storm in the Western Hemisphere since the Great Hurricane of 1780. Additionally, more than 3 million people were either homeless or severely affected. This deadly hurricane was estimated to have caused more than $5 billion in damages. Number 4. Cyclone 02B. Commonly referred to as the Bangladesh Cyclone of 1991, this Category 5 super cyclone made landfall onto the southeast coastal region of Chittagong on April 29, 1991. With winds of up to 150 miles per hour, storm surge went as high as 15 feet, covering the coastal plains of southeastern Bangladesh. As a result, it washed away entire villages, killing more than 135,000 people and rendering 10 million people homeless. Also, the cyclone swamped farms, destroying crops and cattle. This further caused widespread hunger as well as economic woes in the country. Number 3. Cyclone NARGIS. On May 8, 2008, a deadly cyclone struck Myanmar, crossing the south of the country over 2 days and devastating the Irrawaddy Delta region. NARGIS is a Category 4 cyclone with sustained winds of 130 miles per hour and brought about a 12-foot storm surge, claiming 140,000 lives and displacing 800,000 people from their homes. It destroyed about 95% of the buildings, farmland, livestock, and fisheries. In total, over $10 billion in damages were estimated as a result of the cyclone, making it the costliest cyclone to have occurred in the North Indian Ocean basin. Number 2. Typhoon Nina. This Category 4 typhoon appeared on July 30, 1975. At its peak of 115 miles per hour, the enormous typhoon caused significant damage as it swept over Taiwan and made landfall at China's coastal city of HAIYAN. Most of the destruction from this typhoon came not from its devastating winds, but from flooding triggered by the collapse of the Bangqiao Dam in Zhumadian City, Henan Province, China. As a result, it was estimated that 229,000 people died in this catastrophic event. And lastly, the deadliest of them all. Number 1. Deadly BHOLA Cyclone. On November 12, 1970, the deadliest cyclone hit Bangladesh, or formerly known as East Pakistan. Although this is a Category 4 cyclone with winds of over 140 miles per hour, it created a storm surge nearly 19 to 32 feet high, causing floods and widespread damage in the low-lying areas of Bangladesh. Approximately 400,000 houses and 3,500 schools were damaged. Also, an estimated 1 million acres of crops were destroyed and 65% of the total fishing capacity was lost, with total damage of $86.4 million. Not only did BHOLA cyclone claim 300,000 lives, but it also caused a mass famine that lasted for the next 4 to 5 years. This made BHOLA cyclone the deadliest of all tropical storms. Do you know some other deadly storms? Or do you have any requests for our next video? Let us know in the comment section below. If you find this video interesting, we'd love you to support us for more life hacks and interesting facts.